Welcome back to day 4 of the 12 days of MLB rankings. Today I will be going through every third baseman on every Major League Baseball team and ranking them from worst all the way to best at number 1. This is a part of the series that I do every single year where I go through every position and rank all the players. So if you missed out on any other previous positions or are looking forward to one, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on that content. Drop a like on the video to help support and let me know in the comments section below where you disagree or agree with my rankings. Without further ado, let's get going into these third baseman rankings. Here we go. Getting the third base rankings started at number 30, I've got projected third baseman for the Brewers, Andrew Monasterio. I wouldn't be surprised if Monasterio isn't the opening day third baseman in Milwaukee, but as of right now, he seems to be the guy with Joey Ortiz moving to shortstop. Monasterio is a utility player. He can play a bunch of different positions. He plays them all decently well. There's just not a lot of upside here. He was ranked 29th last year. This year, he's at 30. There's not much to talk about here. He's a subpar hitter who can play multiple positions. At number 29, very disappointing, Miguel Vargas of the Chicago White Sox. Vargas, midseason trade with the White Sox and Dodgers. He moved over there, got some consistent playing time, and it really didn't matter. He was absolutely atrocious. In 42 games, he had a 14 OPS plus, a batting average at 104, on base at 217. I mean, it's tough with the White Sox and that organization. It was just a bad place last season. He's such a talented young player that it's kind of shocking he was that bad. Maybe with a full year underneath his belt in Chicago, things can turn around. But as of right now, I just have to put Miguel Vargas towards the bottom. Defensively, he was also not good either. Huge drop in today's video at number 28, Nolan Marte of the Cincinnati Reds. Marte was ranked 18th last year for me. He had a great 2023 season in a small sample of 35 games. And again, in a small sample in 2024, he was horrendous. And this was coming off a PED suspension. So you're starting to get a little bit nervous about Nolan Marte right now. Now, he is going into his 23-year-old season, but coming off a year with a 210 average, 301 slugging, 549 OPS for an OPS plus at 49, playing horrendous defense, absolutely atrocious, and not having the same power that we saw back in 2023, there are some questions for concern here, but Marte is a former top prospect just like Vargas, guys who need to step up sooner than later, but I don't think we can give up on them just yet. Next up at number 27, I've got Max Schumann of the Athletics. Schumann, the rare player drafted out of Eastern Michigan University. Pretty impressive he got to the majors. He had a decent year last year. He's an okay player. Again, another platoon type guy towards the bottom of these rankings. In 133 games with Oakland, 7 homers, 14 doubles, 34 RBIs, and 14 stolen bases, hitting 220 with a 311 on base, 308 slugging, and a 619 OPS for an OPS plus at 82. Schumann did play a good bit of shortstop last year. Looks like third base is going to be a position for him with Jacob Wilson over there for the A's, but I just can't really put him much higher right now. Just missing on the top 25 at number 26, I've got Jose Tena of the Washington Nationals. Tena had some up and downs last year in a small 44-game sample. He got moved to the deadline from the Guardians to the Nats in the Lane Thomas trade, and he immediately started playing in Washington. Granted, there were some interesting moments for Tena. Like defensively, I don't necessarily know if third base is the best position for him. He hit 3 homers, 5 doubles, 15 RBIs in 44 games, stole 6 bases. He's definitely a good athlete. There were sparks at time in Jose Tena's game that made you think that he could turn into a little bit more as a player. He's only 23 years old next season. I'm interested to see what the Nationals do with him moving forward. Getting the top 25 started at number 25, PU. I've got Anthony Rendon. Ugh, this guy stinks. The reason I put him at 25 and not as the worst third baseman is because just like, what if he remembers how to play baseball? What if he starts caring? Which is kind of concerning because he literally has never played 60 games in a season for the Angels yet in his entire career with them. Anthony Rendon's been an Angel for 5 seasons. And in those 5 seasons with LA, he has 22 homers, 50 doubles, 125 RBIs with a 717 OPS, and OPS plus at 100. And last year, it was even worse. 238 plate appearances, the second most he's had as an Angel. He did not hit a home run. He had a 574 OPS and OPS plus at 66. This guy, I don't know what his deal is. I guess he hates baseball. He got paid. He doesn't care anymore. It's a disgrace to baseball, honestly. For Angels fans' sake, I hope he starts to give a shit. I hope he plays better because this is arguably the worst contract in baseball history. For the 24th best third baseman in Major League Baseball, Miami Marlins, Connor Norby. I really liked what we saw out of Norby last year in Miami in the small sample, 36 games after the trade to the Marlins. 7 homers, 8 doubles, 17 RBIs with the Marlins, a 247 average, 315 on base, 445 slugging, and a 760 OPS for an OPS plus at 104. Of course, Norby has some things to improve in his game, like he chased a ton, he struck out a ton, he whiffed a ton, but he's a really good athlete. He was kind of learning-ish a new position. He's been more of a second baseman, and he did barrel the ball really well. So there's things to keep an eye out here for Norby, a fun little player. Coming in at number 23, we've got the first of the young brothers. That's going to be Jace Young. Jace was not great in his 30-game sample with the Tigers, 93 OPS plus. I guess not the worst. The issues were on the defensive side, did not look comfortable at third base at all. He made 4 errors in 27 games. Like, that's a lot. Still yet to hit a major league home run, 5 doubles on the year with 3 RBIs. It's hard to judge. I just am going more so off the prospect pedigree. I liked Young as a prospect. I still think third base is probably not the best position for him, but for now, that's his home, and I still think he's inside the top 25 here. Heading Heading out west to Seattle, at number 22, we've got Dylan Moore. Dylan Moore, projected third baseman for the Mariners. I fully expect them to try and get a more stable guy at that position, but truthfully, Moore's kind of an okay player. Another guy who's a super utility, can basically play every position on the field. He played center field last year along with first base, shortstop, second base. He does it all. He won a Gold Glove for utility. So the glove is great. And the bat was about league average last year. A 104 OPS plus is really good out in Seattle. 10 homers, 23 doubles, 42 RBIs, and stole 32 bases. Dylan Moore is a very underrated player. I think you like him more on your team than starting every single day at one position, but this is a nice little piece that the Mariners have that's going to help them. Big drop down here, 11 spots at number 21 outside the top 20. Ke'Bryan Hayes of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ke'Bryan is amazing defensively. That's never going to stop happening. He's disgusting at third base, but wow, the bat was shockingly bad last year. In 96 games, he had 13 extra base hits. He almost had more stolen bases than extra base hits last year. 4 homers, 9 doubles, 11 stolen bases, 25 RBIs, a 573 OPS for an OPS plus at 61. Like, oh my God. He still doesn't strike out. A K rate under 20%. I'm waiting for the Ke'Bryan Hayes breakout. It's just never happening. And at this point, I gotta drop him down a few because he was atrocious last year. But the glove is still nasty. Getting the top 20 started at the number 20 spot, I've got Maikel Garcia of the Kansas City Royals. Garcia was a guy that everyone thought was gonna break out last season because the Baseball Savant StatCast numbers were great in 2023. The defense is always amazing, but this past season was a little bit different for Maikel. Defensively wasn't as strong, still good, but wasn't as elite as the previous year. He still is doing the things you love. He doesn't swing and miss. He squares up the baseball. He never chases, but for some reason, he just can't get any sort of performance or counting numbers. He had 231 last year with a 281 on base, 332 slugging, 614 OPS, 7 homers, 27 doubles. He did steal 37 bases, so he's got some speed on the base paths, but he's got to become a more complete player to move up in these rankings. For the 19th best third baseman in Major League Baseball, I'm going out to Colorado, Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon is the king of being a 95 OPS plus hitter every single year. He's 92 for his career. Coors has to play a part of it. He's a good defensive third baseman. He's going to give you 20 homers, 25 doubles a year with 60 RBIs, and OPS in that 700 to 750 range every single season. I'd love to see him get on a competitive baseball team because, boy, I think he could be super valuable to a team. But right now, he's stuck in Rockies jail. They don't look like they're ever going to trade him, and he will just continue to be one of the kind of middling third base options right now. A good fielder with an average bat. Next up at number 18, I've got Blue Jays projected third baseman Ernie Clement. Clement actually had a really nice year. He was about a league average hitter, which is kind of a plus for a guy like Ernie Clement because defensively, his glove is really good. But at the plate, we did see some things that are exciting about Ernie Clement. He doesn't strike out. Had a less than 10% K rate last year, which is disgusting. Would love to see him walk a little bit more, but he puts the ball in play. 12 homers, 21 doubles, 51 RBIs, 12 stolen bases with that good defense, with the ability to basically play every position in the infield. Clement's a solid little player. I'm interested to see what the Blue Jays do with him moving forward. But as of right now, he's their third baseman, and I don't think it's a bad choice by any means. Coming in at number 17, I've got the Tampa Bay Rays third baseman Junior Caminero. Caminero looked pretty good. I mean, he was 20 years old last year. We saw rookies struggle a lot more than him at that age. And in his 43 games, 6 homers, 9 doubles, a triple, and 18 RBIs. There's a conversation where Junior Caminero is going to be a top 10 third baseman in Major League Baseball next year in my rankings. But as of right now, we pump the brakes a little bit because, again, defensively, there are some things for Junior Caminero to work on. His bat speed's crazy. His barrel rate's crazy. He still chases and whiffs a ton, but he's 21 years old. The sky is the limit for this kid. I got him at number 17. Without a doubt, the biggest fall in today's video, at number 16, I've got Nolan Arenado of the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, yikes. Arenado was my 4th ranked third baseman last year. I wasn't ready to give up on him, but I've officially come to the conclusion that Arenado's not the same player. He's just old now. He's going into his 34-year-old season after 2 pretty subpar years. Like, defensively, he's still great, still a good third baseman, but at the plate, it's a completely different player. 101 OPS plus last year, so he was a league average hitter, 16 homers, 23 doubles, 71 RBIs. He had a 325 on base, sub 400 slugging percentage for the first time in his career. He's not the same Nolan Arenado. He's a middle of the pack guy now. He's a glove first third baseman who's got a league average bat. Sad to say it, but Arenado could be cooked. Jumping up a few spots here at number 15, right in the middle, I've got Alec Bohm of the Philadelphia Phillies. While Bohm still is not a good defensive third baseman, he did improve. There was quite an improvement there. He went from being like the worst to maybe middle of the pack. And offensively, we did see a huge step forward for Alec Bohm. He is a good hitter, 15 homers, 44 doubles, 97 RBIs on the year, a 280 average, 332 on base, 448 slugging, and a 779 OPS for an OPS plus at 117. It was the best season of his career, without a doubt. The power did slow down a little bit in the second half. He was super hot to start the year, but overall, for Alec Bohm and the Phillies, that's all you really need from the guy playing third base. It's interesting they're looking to trade him. I wonder if he will be the opening day starter for Philadelphia at that position. Dropping down 3 spots here at number 14, I've got Josh Young of the Texas Rangers. Young just kind of had a worse year than he did in his rookie season in 2023. Of course, he dealt with injuries, and that's always going to be something that seems to be around Josh Young. 46 games, 7 homers, 5 doubles, 16 RBIs, 264 average, 298 on base, 421 slugging, 719 OPS for an OPS plus at 104. I didn't want to punish him too hard again because of the injuries, and relatively speaking, they were similar years to what he had in 2023. It just wasn't as sharp. So I think a couple spots down while some guys had plus years is kind of worth it. Next up at number 13, I've got Isaac Paredes, newly acquired Houston Astro. I actually had to re-record a lot of this because Isaac Paredes on the Cubs is a very different player next season than Isaac Paredes is on the Astros. He goes from a ballpark that is just simply not made for him to play to a ballpark that is built for him with those Crawford boxes in Houston. He's a dead pull hitter, and that's the worst thing you can do in Chicago is pull the ball down the lines. That's why he was so good in Tampa. Down the lines, extremely friendly out there. In Chicago and Detroit, where he's played the worst baseball of his career, not so much. And we saw it last year in 52 games. Only 3 home runs, 6 doubles for Isaac Paredes, a 633 OPS, a slugging at 307. The defense is not good enough to outweigh how bad he was offensively in Chicago. So yes, Isaac Paredes, while I don't know if he's a top 10 third baseman still right now, moving to Houston definitely gives him a much higher upside going into the season than he did have in Chicago. For the 12th best third baseman in Major League Baseball, Arizona Diamondbacks Eugenio Suarez. I had him ranked 12th last year, and I feel like he's just doing it again. He had a really nice year, great second half for the Diamondbacks, 30 homers, 28 doubles, 101 RBIs, 256 average, 319 on base, 469 slugging, 788 OPS for an OPS plus at 116. He definitely loves hitting in Arizona. The ball flies out of there. He was pretty good defensively as well. He is a borderline top 10 third baseman. I think that's exactly where he belongs. A guy who is going to make your team better, but isn't necessarily one of the elite guys at the position. Gino is a good ball player, though. Dude hits tanks. Just missing on the top 10 at number 11, I've got Jordan Westburg of the Baltimore Orioles. Westburg offensively last year was great. 129 OPS plus, 792 OPS in Baltimore as a right-handed hitter. That's very difficult with how far the left field was. 18 homers, 26 doubles, 63 RBIs. He had a 481 slugging, which was fantastic in 107 games. The problem with him is defensively, he's definitely a little bit shaky, especially at third base, but he's obviously a very good player. Going into his 26-year-old season is going to be a big part of this Orioles future, but I had to keep him just outside the top 10 ever so slightly, even though Westburg is definitely a beast. Getting the top 10 started at number 10, Jazz Chisholm, New York Yankees. I think some people are going to freak out that I have Jazz inside the top 10, but did you see what he did with the Yankees as soon as he left Miami, as soon as he got in a winning environment? In 46 games, he had 11 homers, 7 doubles, 23 RBIs, and 18 stolen bases, hitting 273 with a 325 on base, 500 slugging, and an 825 OPS with the Yankees. OPS plus at 130. Defensively, he was fantastic for the Yankees down the stretch at third base. He ended up finishing with a 9 OAA on the year with his 94th percentile. Jazz is just a really good player, and I know he's got the flash and the swag, and he kind of bothers some people, but that move to the Yankees was huge for him. They got him for absolutely nothing, and he is one of the 10 best third basemen in the league. He's a dude who can absolutely fly up this list by the end of the season. Just slightly better at number 9, I've got the other New York third baseman, Mark Vientos of the New York Mets. Mark Vientos was incredible last year for the Mets. Truthfully, saved the Mets season. We talk about Lindor, we talk about Alonso, we talk about Nimmo, we talk about all those guys, but Mark Vientos was the X factor, was the game changer. He came up to this team and instantly made this offense so much better. 111 games, 27 homers, 22 doubles, 71 RBIs, hitting 266 with a 322 on base, 516 slugging, 837 OPS for an OPS plus at 135. The dude's a stud at the plate. Now defensively, shaky. Maybe one of the worst defensive third basemen in the league, but if he's going to hit 30 home runs a year, have an 840 OPS every single season, do what he did, you can kind of look past the bad defense for a guy who's probably really a first baseman at the end of the day, but the bat is just so good. Down one spot here at number 8, I've got Royce Lewis of the Minnesota Twins. I'm still a major Royce Lewis fan. I still think he's an absolute stud, but last year, again, still didn't see him play 100 games. He only played 82. In those 82, he had 16 homers, 16 doubles, 47 RBIs. Over a full season, you're looking at a 30-30 guy without a doubt. But the average was down nearly 70 points. The on-base percentage was down 80 points. Everything was down across the board. It was a weird year for the Twins. I'm just going to chalk it up as that. I just am begging to see a healthy year out of Royce Lewis because this is a guy who could be getting MVP votes at some point. He is that talented. Just stay healthy, Royce. And please, for the love of God, Twins, wake up. Team's too talented. It's crazy. For the 7th best third baseman in today's video, I've got Alex Bregman. Bregman, 26 homers, 30 doubles, 75 RBIs last year. That's basically what we could pencil him in for every single season. That's what he's done the last 3 years. He's a 4-5 win player. He may not be that 2019 version of himself where he finished second in the MVP voting, but you're getting a guy who's going to hit around 260, have a 350 on base, 800 OPS, play good defense at third base. He may not be elite anymore, but he is for sure one of the best third basemen in the league, and I'm sure he's going to get paid this offseason. Whether or not it's with the Astros or the Yankees or whatever team, Bregman will make them better. He's a very good third baseman. Just missing on the top 5 at number 6, I've got Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Big jump up here. Muncy kind of went off last year, and when you look at his numbers, yes, defensively he's not great, but if I'm going to value Vientos' offense, you gotta give it to Max Muncy too, and some of the other guys on this list. Muncy in 73 games hit 15 homers, 17 doubles, 48 RBIs last year with an 852 OPS, and even defensively was pretty good at third base. He was basically league average. That walk rate at 15% is crazy. He doesn't chase. He barrels baseballs. He hits nukes. I don't know if Max Muncy can keep this going for as long as he has. He's going into his 34-year-old season, but man, this dude is just such a good baseball player. Absolute dog. Getting the top 5 started at number 5, I've got Matt Chapman of the San Francisco Giants. Chapman's got to be so pumped. He just got Willy Adames over at shortstop. Chapman stays over at third base, and he had a sneaky, amazing season with the Giants last year. While the OPS didn't eclipse 800 in San Francisco, it still gave him an OPS plus at 125, which is towards the top of the league, especially at third base. 27 homers, 39 doubles, 78 RBIs, and he sneaky stole 15 bases while playing disgusting defense at third base as a Gold Glover. Matt Chapman got that contract. He's got Willy Adames now. This Giants team's looking a lot better with Buster Posey at the helm right now, and Chapman is for sure a top 5 guy at third base. Despite a slow season, I'm still going with Austin Riley inside the top 5. I have him at number 4 this year, down 1 spot. Riley, of course, dealt with injuries towards the end of the year, only played in 110 games, 19 homers, 26 doubles, 56 RBIs with a 256 average, 322 on base, 461 slugging, and a 783 OPS for an OPS plus at 115. It was not a good year coming off of 3 straight, arguably MVP caliber seasons, but because of the injury and because of how weird the year was in Atlanta, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think anywhere outside the top 5 would be crazy for a guy like Austin Riley, who is still one of the premier hitters in baseball. Down 1 spot at number 3, Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres. Machado is still great. He's still fantastic. He does everything that you'd expect from Manny. A little bit of a slow start to the year because of the injury. Played a lot of DH, but he still hit close to 30 homers, 29 homers, 30 doubles, 105 RBIs, stole 11 bases, 797 OPS, 275 average. The defense was weird though. Defense wasn't good last year. -1 OAA. That's worse than Max Muncy, so something to keep an eye out for. One of the reasons why I ever so slightly put him down a bit, but obviously he's still one of the elite third basemen in the game. Just missing out at the number 1 spot. At number 2, I've got Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. I think we got to throw some respect on Rafael Devers' name. As a left-handed hitter in Boston, not necessarily the most favorable options for him at plate, but he still just mashes every single year. 28 homers, 34 doubles, 83 RBIs, a 272 average, 354 on base, 516 slugging for an 871 OPS plus at 139. That's among the top in Major League Baseball. Defensively, he's still terrible, -6 OAA, but honestly, I don't really care because the way that Rafiki Big Scoops mashes, it doesn't really matter. We're going on 8 years. He has 200 home runs in his career. He's got a career 856 OPS. He's just a really good player, and maybe I'm crazy putting him ahead of Machado and Riley and Chapman, but I think right now, Rafael Devers, second best third baseman in the game. And then coming in at number 1 for the second straight year, of course, is going to be Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. J-Ram is out of control. Did you see what he did last year, guys? Because it was crazy. He almost had a 40-40-40 season. 39 homers, 39 doubles, 41 stolen bases with 118 RBIs. He hit 279 with a 335 on base, 537 slugging for an 872 OPS, and OPS plus at 143. It's a shame that this American League was loaded with talent this year because he finished 5th in the MVP voting, which kind of doesn't even really make any sense with those numbers. But J-Ram is just so friggin' good. We are looking at a Hall of Fame player. We are looking at a generational talent. His contract is so cheap too, like 7 for 141 through the 2028 season. He was even great defensively last year. Like what can't this guy do? J-Ram's a complete player. He is the clear and obvious number 1 best third baseman in the league. So there they are. I ranked all the third basemen in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know who you think is the best third baseman in the league. Do you think it's J-Ram? Do you think I put Devers too high? Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the rankings or baseball content coming at you all year long. And dropping a like on the video really does help support as well. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the awesome support. You know the drill from here on out. We will be doing shortstops tomorrow. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the shortstop rankings. Bye.